Hey, what is going on guys? RvzStealth here, and in today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the must pick or ban champions, or just the strongest champions so far in patch 7.22. So I've done quite a bit of research for this video. I did take a look at a bunch of stats for the runes so far and stats for the champions in this patch. So if you guys do want to take a look at stats yourself, then I will leave the site that I used down in the description below to get a lot of the information for this video. But with that being said, guys, let's get started. So we're going to start off in the top lane here, and we're going to be going over 3 champions for each role. So the 3 picks for every single role right now that are performing the best in 7.22. So right now in the top lane, Yorick, Maokai, and then a bunch of AP poke top laners are doing very well in 7.22. So Yorick is the champion that's performing the best in the top lane for 7.22, and you guys might be a little bit surprised about this, but there's very good explanation as to why. So the first reason is because his base AD did get increased like a lot of these other champions. I'm pretty sure most champions did get a base AD increase, but this is especially good for these Trinity Force users and these Sheen users like Yorick, because the Sheen's damage does scale off of your base AD, so it does allow you to do quite a bit more damage once you grab those items. And also Yorick got a buff in this patch to his Q to where it now affects turrets. I feel like a lot of people have glanced over this and they didn't really notice this in the patch notes, but Yorick actually takes towers extremely fast now. So if he's in a melee matchup to where he can easily bully the enemy top laner, if he makes them go base, he's going to be taking your tower before you even get back to base if he does have a Sheen finished. And the buff to his Q isn't the only reason to why he's an extremely good tower pusher now. The new rune Demolish allows you to charge up a powerful attack against a tower while you're near it. So this just makes Yorick basically one-shot towers, not literally, but he takes towers extremely fast now, and it just makes him a great pick in pretty much any melee matchup. Any lane that he can bully, he's just gonna snowball that lane out of control. And then for Maokai, he's doing very well along with a lot of these other AP tanky top laners. Aftershock is a very strong rune on Maokai. He can easily activate it when he does use his W on the opponent, and he can just very easily go for an all-in on them. He's going to gain a bunch of those resists once he does use his W, and he's also going to deal that bursted damage. So it's overall just a great rune on Maokai. And then because base armor got increased but base magic resist did not, it means that these AP top lane champions are going to be able to deal a lot more damage in the laning phase. Going for an all-in now with Maokai, that all-in is going to do quite a bit more damage than it would in previous patches, and just poking with your Q and your E now in the laning phase is going to deal quite a bit more. So overall, AP top laners and Maokai most specifically are performing very well in 7.22. If we move over to taking a look at the jungle now, the 3 best for this patch are Rammus, Shaco, and Xin Zhao. So Rammus is performing the best for any jungler in 7.22, and that's because the new runes just synergize extremely well with his W. So with Aftershock, when you use a CC ability or an immobilizing effect like the Rammus E or his Q, you're gonna gain bonus armor and magic resist. So that means when you activate your W, you're gonna be extremely tanky for those 2.5 seconds once you do proc your Aftershock. And then conditioning is the other really good one on Rammus as well. Once you get 10 minutes into the game, you're going to be gaining that bonus armor and magic resist, and that just means the synergy between that and your W is really good, and you're just going to be very, very hard to kill. Now as for Shaco, there's a few reasons to why he's doing great in this patch. The first one is because whoever can get a snowball going first in the early game is most likely the team that's going to win. If you can get your laners ahead in the early game, then you're just going to have an extremely high chance to win in this patch, and that just makes Shaco really good. Along with Electrocute and Sudden Impact, I feel like any champions that can abuse those 2 runes in this patch are going to do very well too. So Electrocute is just great on Shaco. It allows him to deal a ton of damage when he is ganking, and then Sudden Impact, whenever you do activate your Q, you will be gaining that extra lethality and magic pen, and both of those 2 synergize great with Shaco's kit because he does deal a mix of damage. He is going to be dealing AD damage, and he is also going to be dealing AP damage. And then as for Xin Zhao, Press the Attack and Sudden Impact are the two that are very strong on him. Press the Attack is very easy to proc for Xin Zhao because you do gain bonus attack speed when you activate your E, and when you activate your E, you will be proccing Sudden Impact. So the amount of damage you can do with this champion very quickly is insanely high, and if you do go Red Smite on him as well, there's very few junglers that can actually match this champion in a duel for 7.22. Now, if we take a look at the mid lane, there's a lot of different things that are performing great in the mid lane for this patch, but the ones that are standing out so far, Katarina, Malzahar, Poke Mids, and then Corki are doing great in this patch. So Katarina with the Electrocute and then with the Sudden Impact as well, those two runes right now are probably two of the strongest in this patch, and Katarina can just use them very effectively. So that's the main reason to why I think Katarina is doing very well for 7.22. For Malzahar, the fact that you can grab these runes that are going to be reducing the cooldown of your ultimate and just the cooldown of your other abilities as well, you can get up to like 35% CDR, I'm pretty sure, very early on in the game as Malzahar, even 40% CDR, and once you hit 40% CDR on Malzahar, his ultimate is on an extremely short cooldown, and you're just going to be able to use your ultimate whenever it's up, find picks, and the lower cooldown you have on your ultimate with Malzahar, the more picks you can get and the faster you can snowball a game. So I think Malzahar with these new runes is even stronger than he was in previous patches. Now for Corki, with the base 80 increase, that helps him out a lot in this patch because the Sheen damage and the Trinity Force damage is going to be a lot higher for him in 7.22. Come the mid game, with that base 80 increase and with your ultimate being on a shorter cooldown now, it will mean that Corki's DPS damage is going to be a lot higher, and because he is a mid game champion and his mid game did get buffed in this patch, I just think he is a lot stronger for 7.22. And then for the 80 carries in this patch, you still got your Tristana, Kog'Maw, and Twitch up there, and then Ezreal is one that has skyrocketed in this patch from one of the worst 80 carries to so far in this patch, he's actually performing the best for any 80 carry. So Ezreal is the 180 carry that benefited so much from the rune changes. Kleptomancy on Ezreal is extremely good. It just allows him to gain a ton of gold in the laning phase. You get a ton of sustain as well from running this rune, so it's overall just a great rune on Ezreal. Biscuit Delivery is also really good on him because it just allows him to sustain up even better in the laning phase. Futures Market allows you to go base for an early tier if you want, or just allows you to go base and just grab that Sheen or grab that tier, and it does allow you to propel yourself into that mid game a little bit faster. And then Cosmic Insight is also super good on him because any CDR on Ezreal is going to be very beneficial. And then Transcendence, getting that 10% CDR once you do hit level 10 along with the Cosmic Insight means that your Q is going to be on a very short cooldown. You're going to be gaining a ton of CDR with Ezreal early on into the game, and once you do finish your Trinity Force, you are going to have pretty much max CDR, and it just makes your mid game super strong. For Kog'Maw, the Lethal Tempo is the one that's performing the best on him. It just allows him to deal a ton of % health damage during team fights. And then for Trist and Twitch, so far it's not completely clear as to which one is just the outright best rune or the best keystone on these champions. Most people are taking Press the Attack on Tristana, and then most people are taking Lethal Tempo on Twitch. I think it does depend a lot on the situation as to which one you're going to want to run though, especially for Tristana. In aggressive lanes, I think Press the Attack is the one to go for, but in more passive lanes or in lanes that are harder to win, the Fleet Footwork or the Lethal Tempo would probably be the better option over Press the Attack. And then to round out this video, the 3 supports that are performing super well for 7.22 are Sona, Leona, and Lulu. So pretty much all of these poke AP oriented supports actually got a lot better in this patch, and Sona and Lulu are the 2 that are performing super well. Since the Spellthies line did get buffed in this patch, and because Magic Resist did not get added on to any champions to compensate for the fact that you're not getting MR runes anymore, it just means that these support champions, these AP supports, are going to deal a ton more poke damage in the laning phase, and they're just so much harder to lane against in 7.22. And then for Leona, she is the one tank support that is standing out above all else in this patch, and I think the main reasons for it is because her all-in in the laning phase and her ability to just snowball off of these squishier supports is really good. You're going to take Aftershock on her, and it's going to allow her to just deal more damage during her all-in, and it's going to make her even tankier. You're also going to be able to take sudden impact on Leona, and that means when you do use your E onto the opponent, you're going to be gaining bonus lethality and magic pen, and it just means that your ability to all in with Leona in the laning phase and your ability to deal damage is going to be very high. So that is going to be all for this video. Hopefully this does give you a pretty good idea of what you should be looking to pick and ban in 7.22. These are the champions that you should be looking out for, and you should look to try out if you haven't yet because they are pretty strong for this patch. So with that being said, guys, if you did enjoy the video, then be sure to leave a like and subscribe if you've yet to already. So thanks for watching, have an awesome day, and I will see you in my next video.